Hello and welcome to Note to File, a clinical research podcast.
A collection of interviews, candid commentary, and general nonsense for the clinical research community.
Check us out at notetofilepodcast.com.
And now, without further ado, on to the show.
Hey guys, welcome to another Note to File. Denali, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. How about you?
You know, super. It's out of town last week. I feel like every time I come back, a number of insane things have somehow managed to happen in a short period of time. So, dealing with that, but that's just life in the sight game,
I feel like that's life in any game where you reach like a certain level of importance and you can't take time off per se. You can take time off, but then you pay for it when you get back.
Yeah, you pay for it on the back end. You know what? It's okay. Worth it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, it's a short week this week. I don't know. Is that for you guys?
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. It's actually a good question.
It's also
I got to see how many, because clinics don't often stop like for those types of days because people don't stop being sick for some reason.
But I don't know. I feel like this is one of those holidays. It's like the Thanksgivings or the Christmases where unless you're like urgent or emergent care, like clinics are closed for like
Merck,
the observation of 4th of July.
I think
feel like it's one of those ones.
Truthfully, America is more important than your personal health and safety. So I'm with you on
that. Hey man, I didn't say I was endorsing it. I'm just saying historically what I've seen. But again, it's like a 4-day week, which also I feel like I read something recently where there was like legislation that was going to come out that like someone was proposing we move to a 4-day work week, which I feel like
people have been trying to do that for a while, right?
There's some countries in Europe who do it. Which
that's true. They also, they get long vacations and they actually care about their lives outside of their jobs, which is weird. Crazy. I can't possibly imagine that being a thing.
So
work
I have
is all
2
that
people
matters.
on my team. Well, no, this is a great example of this. I have 2 people on my team. Both of them went out for paternity leave. One is located here in the States, and one is located in the EU. Mm-hmm. And the one who is located here did 2 weeks of paternity leave, and the gentleman in the EU is taking 2.5 months of paternity leave over the summer.
And probably the American person was, given a hard time, possibly behind their back, if not to their face, for taking those 2 weeks.
Well, no,
I did it at my first job. Like when I had my first kid, I took 2 weeks off, and I feel like even my boss was like, "What the fuck are you doing? What do you mean? What do you do? What does that mean? Why would you do that?"
Oh,
I was like, okay.
I'm very strong proponent of work-life sway on the balance, but I think it's pretty culturally unacceptable to have that type of thing. But I've heard that as well, where I had a friend who's a lawyer, and for their first kid didn't really take time and did the whole thing and was like, I'm going to grind. And then for their second ended up taking, they offer 6 weeks or 6 months of paid paternity leave or something. And he took it and got a ton of shit for it.
6 months is
why you offer
not insignificant, but that's, if it's there, take it, man,
Well, and that's where I also think the same thing with PTO, where it's that's part of your benefits package is your PTO. So if you're not taking it, you're not getting your full compensation. So if you're gonna offer it, be prepared to give it.
Fair point.
And if you ask offer to help someone and they take you up on it, you can't be like, well, you weren't supposed to take me up on this. It's well, then don't fucking offer.
People will do that anyway, just cause. But I feel you.
What day
is June 30th. Hey, I'm getting there. Okay, I have a process. Please don't rush it.
Okay.
Because you work off of urgency, and I work off of urgency.
Fast pace. Gotta go.
Yeah, I know. Today's June 30th. If you're watching right now, say what's up. Give us some shout out and some comments if anything you want to hear us talk about. Today is International Asteroid Day, apparently.
What would make something Like, why would that have to be an international holiday?
I don't know. I mean, maybe this is the day that there is a historically high rate uh, of asteroids. This website is pure cancer, and the ad pop-ups are making me extremely mad. Or I would tell you more about it, but I click it and, like, 6 pop-up videos happen, and they start playing, and I can't even hear myself talk, so, if you wanna look up International Asteroid Day, look into it further. It's also National Clean Your Disposal Day, so, you know, maybe spend a few extra minutes
Okay.
cleaning out your garbage
So I
disposal.
just moved, which is why I'm in some weird transient podcast spot. But I just started did a ton of laundry yesterday, and I was like, I feel like I should get something to clean my washing machine. So I got like washing machine cleaners, and I was like going through. It was like dishwasher cleaners, disposal cleaners. So I bought all of them this morning, and they should be coming this week. So I will be cleaning my disposal in the next
I
2
mean, you have
days.
what, like, special cleaners for them?
Yeah, it's like
Just
like
reach your hand in
tablet,
there.
like
Just reach your hand in there and you know, grab
I
around
feel like
and,
that's
you're good.
it's not advisable.
Just saying. You gotta get
How
the
many
job
fingers do you
done.
have?
I mean, mostly all of them, so it's fine. So on top of International Asteroid Day, it's also a National Meteor Watch Day, so there must be a lot of astronomical events happening, like, this time
Maybe.
of year.
Maybe it's also I don't know. What's it?
Go outside and look at the
What's
sky,
this?
I guess, which is always a good thing. And it is also Social Media Day, as if we need that.
That doesn't need a day. People are on social media all of the time.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
a
don't
goal we should get
disagree.
we should have a goal to get a note to file day.
Ooh, I wonder I'll have to find out from this website how I can make that a thing.
I
Like,
mean,
put out,
I
like, a
feel
press
like that's
release. I'm
something
sure we
that
could
they would
can't you
do.
just pay money to get, like, a press release, like, put out?
I mean,
And
that's
then
like
I'm
it's kind of
sure
like when
if we did
you can
that,
buy
it would get picked up.
stars. Yeah, but you can like buy
Stars? You can buy
stars. You know, like there's like
stars?
websites, stars, like in the
Oh,
sky,
stars.
like you buy like whatever some random ass star. And you're like, I bought you a
Got it.
star. It's like supposed to be some cute romantic gift or whatever. But like that concept where it's like, yeah, you can pay money to do pretty much anything. So I would assume you can pay money to get a national day.
It's probably true. I mean, I really have to question the legitimacy of some of these days as we've done this, throughout the last year and a half or so. Some of them seem a little flimsy, to say the least. So I'm sure, there's a way we could figure out. All right,
Gotta
that's
have
next. That's
goals.
on the list. That's on the list. Getting a note to
Deal.
file day.
Love it.
Cool. Well, what are you gonna talk about?
This one. So I found this came out. I think literally just this morning is when the
Whoa.
news just this morning. And it's looking at I think there's letters that came out from a subcommittee from the US House to several large pharma companies, and they're opening an investigation into some trials that they're doing in China. And it was interesting where basically the fundamental core of this is that they're saying that drug makers, so it's Merck, AbbVie, I think Lilly, Pfizer, maybe there's a couple other ones down there as well, are conducting clinical trials in China that help fuel the communist country's military capabilities. It's like the fundamental core of what they're talking about. But I thought it was interesting, like as it goes through, like I was trying to figure out, like, okay, what does this even mean? And there's talks about like, is it like ethical or, patient safety concerns? And none of the companies have really come out and said like either they haven't responded because I mean, like I said, this came out I think about 5, 6, 7 hours ago. So they haven't necessarily responded to comment, but a lot of them saying like, no, like there's no ethical concerns. Patient safety is important to us. The Chinese embassy has said there's no claims in this, but the basic core of this is going on basically saying that like there's lapses in informed consent, and ultimately saying that because where is this piece in the article that I thought was interesting? That's conducting this research in the military hospitals puts cutting-edge biotechnology and intellectual property of American companies at risk of being transferred to the Chinese military.
Interesting.
But
Yeah, there's some notes here about how there have been lapses in securing informed consent from trial participants. And I think this kind of speaks to, like, what we've seen a lot here recently, which is where, I feel like the FDA or the administration or whatever you want to call it is putting a lot of focus on, America. America needs to be leading the charge here. And
I think that's the interesting piece here, because like in this article that they published, they pulled in some statistics about like the growth of research in China compared to the US. And I think specifically it's talking about early stage trials where it says like China has gone through some like regulatory reforms and subsidies and basically transformed itself to be the cheapest and fastest place in the world to run early stage human drug trials. And then it backs it up by saying in 2024, the early phase drug development programs have dropped to 37% in the US, which previously was 48% in 2015, whereas China's is now 32%, up from 8%. So it's like tracking the sort of, it's grown substantially in the past 10 years. And so getting to that point of like, we're looking at the metrics, we're seeing US decrease in it because regulatory, financially, it becomes more expensive and harder to run these trials. China has transformed itself to make it easier to run those trials.
But I think making sure one has to follow any regulations of any kind. And
well, that's what it's kind of getting at about the informed consent. Like, where is it gets really gray as far as like, okay, what have they done to make this more appealing? So,
well, I mean, it also sounds like they've made it it's cheap and easy. And I also wonder if there's like some upside to China. I mean, if they are actually able to talked about doing these on military hospitals, and they're
in the military facility
access to like, if they're getting like direct access to like some of this, IP or I don't want to say trade secrets, but like, I wonder if it's also in their best interest. Like, yeah, come here and do research. It's cheap. It's easy. We're not going to slap your wrist too hard, slap your hand too hard if you don't follow every single rule.
Right. Well, and China's been notoriously lax on their regulations around IP across industries. So,
I mean,
it is not necessarily
Silicon Valley, where they're basically have copies of like every American app or like tech product. They just basically steal the whole premise and make some tweaks to it.
So as someone who works in software and has worked in software startups with like VC funding, that show is slightly triggering, but it's a great show.
I mean, I can imagine.
But I think it's interesting because I think there's a lot of ways you could frame it, right? Like China's trying to make advancements for it's, giving their population access to trials, making it more appealing for folks to come in and run those trials. You need certain populations of patients to run trials. If you need folks of Asian descent, China's going to give you that population. Like there's ways where this is like, yeah, it makes total sense to be doing this. But then the other side of things is, and again, it's like most things, it's probably somewhere in the middle of all of this, but there's certainly the nefarious ways you could put it where it's, we're going to get ourselves these secrets, we're going to reduce regulations, make it easier to run trials here, get access to the IP, bring some of this over. My guess is it's probably somewhere in the middle, but if something's cheaper and easier to run, like a lot of large corporations look at spreadsheets, that's how they make decisions. So
yeah, hilariously, that's capitalism, which is what America is so proud and happy hill to die on. Now they want to make legislation to essentially limit capitalism, right? Which is just hilarious to me, which is,
slightly hypocritical. But interesting to see. I think in this article it says they have until like July 17th to showcase due diligence, etc. It'll be interesting to see what comes of this. I mean, I know there's something like, it was slightly different format or whatever, but like back, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, the major IRBs got, government letters saying, hey,
And look at what
piggybacked.
great
Well,
progress that helped make.
there was nothing for them to stand on to require it. I mean, I'm fairly sure, I'm not going to guarantee this, but I don't think any of the IRBs actually ended up complying with any of it because there was no teeth in it.
Can't make them.
Right. There's nothing you can do. Now it's the new political landscape now, so I don't know what the plans are, and I know.
I mean, you really think they're gonna like stick it to the American
I
IRB?
mean,
It seems like
well, no, not
the
the IRBs at this point won't, but
Sure,
we've in this particular past couple of years, we've certainly used the political tariff and manufacturing incentive landscape to drive these large pharma companies to keep business local and not take it overseas and not not incentivizing folks to become more international, making it more US centric.
Sure.
And so is there going to be compliance because there's fear of additional repercussions? I don't know. But interesting to see what happens. Like I said, I think this came out like 7 hours ago.
Yeah.
So it's really breaking news here.
So that's, if above all else, that's what we're known for, is breaking news and having high level punditry when it comes to breaking news.
It's like regular Walter Cronkite over there.
Yeah, that's it.
But anyway, it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like I said, and just in general, how the landscape shifts, and it'll be interesting to see how those particular big players respond over the coming days and weeks.
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on it. Our team will keep an eye on it.
Team in the field.
Yes, exactly.
Our correspondents in China.
All of our junior reporters will get
representation on the Hill, or APAC division. Really,
all of it. Mm-hmm. Cool, interesting. Again, I thought it was interesting, especially given all the sort of rhetoric right now around America first and how we need to be, the best choice competitively for drug development, when it's probably just not.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. Like, how does the whole like real-time clinical trials play into that? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like we're trying to become more innovative, become better at doing trials. Like, is that part of that initiative, or is that something different?
Yeah, I don't think, and it's a good question. And I will say, I mean, that's the other article that we have pulled. Hey, you know what? That was a very professional segue, and I like the way you think here. So, recent article from a guy who's even more, curmudgeonly than me, Paul Ibsen, wrote an article here about, are real-time trials even real? Which is, I mean, look, something that from the jump seemed very confusing and convoluted to me. So I'm actually glad somebody smarter than me wrote a little bit more about it, because these are pretty much a lot of the same questions and concerns, I had, and how, the FDA and Paradigm and really everyone has been incredibly vague about what this, what it even is, and how it's already kind of, the goalposts have already kind of moved on from the announcement to today. Kind of started out as, we're going to have data, pushed back and forth. Trial endpoints and adverse events was what they first said, which then turned into signal level data.
That's an official term?
Well, that's what he kind of gets at throughout this article. The FDA facing output is predefined signal metadata tied to the agreed schema, which sounds like nothing.
Something you put into ChatGPT and it spits out.
Yeah, again, it's very unclear what they mean by signal level data. So again, at the end of the day, what is it really? What is it, and what are we doing? And
with the changes, is it even happening?
Well, I mean, that's apparently, there's been some commitment by FDA, I think, to keep this thing going. And I mean, I thought something else interesting that he brings up here is that, one of the trials they're talking about is Traverse, which has been going on since December of 2023. And the transfer is only happening at 2 of the 29 participating sites. It seems very, and again, maybe it's just early at this point. Maybe we're being a little too harsh. Let them try to figure out like what it looks like. But I think it's sort of that, instead of like they had a plan, ready, aim, fire, they're kind of, firing and then kind of trying to aim after the fact to figure out like how this all fits together. And look, like I said this in a post, like on or a comment on his post, like I hate it when these things happen because I want to be supportive and help champion like progress in our industry. And I feel like for most people, when they read these press releases, it seems like progress. It seems like something good. It must be something good. But then when you like dig down a little bit, as we all should, we are, especially in a field where we do fucking research, which means, you go beyond the headline.
You look into things. You try to find the answer.
Exactly. It becomes increasingly unclear. And then the more you press on like some of the people who are presumably like responsible for doing this, like you just get less and less in terms of clear answers. And that's okay. I mean, I would have a lot more respect for just like, we don't know yet. We're trying some stuff out and we don't know what exactly we're doing. But as those things linger longer and longer, I become less and less inclined to believe that they have any idea what they're doing and that it's going to be a good thing for the industry, which is unfortunate because so many people are already applauding it. It makes me feel like a jerk because, so I'm glad Paul is out there who is happy to be even bigger of a jerk than I am. So thank you, Paul, for, pressing the issue a little bit.
I mean, I think the thing that's interesting to your point of like, instead of like ready, aim, fire, it's like ready, fire, aim, which gets to the point of like, it has never been clear to me what their goal is with this initiative. And like they're developing or like pitching all of these. I mean, that press conference was an absolute just like chaotic experience watching it when they like were all over the place. They were talking about AI and transfer of data. They were talking about IRB regulations. It was like, you're just saying a lot of things that historically have problems, but you're not telling me what problem you're solving.
Yeah, there was talk about staff training and a lot of it. I agree. It was very unfocused. It mostly just felt like a lot of patting each other on the back, which we should all be well accustomed to by now. But not a lot of, not a lot of content there.
Honestly, it reminds me of like software releases, or I guess any release. I'm just familiar with software where like you have someone who launches something entirely too soon. They start saying and touting, this is what we're doing, this is what we did, and it sounds really cool. You have this PR and you're like, oh man, that's awesome. That sounds cool. But then you're like, wait, what are you actually doing? Like you're doing something with AI? Okay, well, what are you doing? And it was like, oh, well, we've done this connection. And you dig down and you're like, okay, well, maybe you did one connection between two things and you call it, you did it. You checked the box. But then you dig even further and you're like, what are you developing this for? And I think this is a fundamental problem where it's people start developing solutions before they fully understand the problem. And so you're ultimately never going to be successful if you're trying to sell someone on an idea or a product unless you understand what the problem is and know that your thing is actually a solution to the problem. Like so many people have like strategies of what they're doing, but they never actually have this true solution because they never fully understand the problem. And that feels a lot. It's like, we have AI strategy. It's like, well, you don't have a solution. You sure as shit don't know the problem or you haven't been able to articulate it.
Right.
So
I don't know. We'll see. The whole thing just seems weird. I mean, Paradigm's been on my radar for a while. I've tried to get them on the show. And again, I don't fault anyone for not wanting to come on and, talk to us, especially if I've been a little bit critical of, especially like their press releases in the past where like I've jumped in like, what are you doing? Like, exactly. Just tell me what you're doing. Like I work in this industry. I care. I want to know, like, tell me if you're gonna,
Yeah.
you know, make these broad, sweeping marketing statements. Can you tell me a little bit more about like what that is? So I mean, so far they've declined to come on and talk, which again, don't necessarily fault them for, but I think what people miss is like me and presumably you too. Like we want to be supportive of things that are actually going to help move the needle. But you have a company who, for a long time, they kind of came out of nowhere, in my mind, which is probably not entirely true. We know how much work goes on in the background to build a
Yeah.
company, but kind of came out of nowhere. Wasn't ever really clear what they did, and then all of a sudden they're standing on the stage with government officials and big wigs from pharma. And to me, there's probably a dozen companies better suited to do this who already know what they're doing. So it just seemed very, very weird. Like, it's like taking the third round draft pick instead of uh, the hell anyone else. And again, maybe they pull it off. Maybe I look like an idiot in retrospect, which I've done several times in the past. But it just doesn't. I'm glad I'm not the only one who's like, what? What the hell are you talking about?
Well,
I take some comfort in that.
but I also think too, like the folks who maybe are better suited to it or would be the ones to be like, okay, well, what are we doing here? What does this
I mean,
actually
that's a good
mean?
point. Yeah, yeah.
And they're not going to get up there. Like they already they have a lane and they are successful in it. So they don't
Yeah.
need to do this type of risk. Interestingly, though, I think I've always had questions about Paradigm, especially like just sort of what are they and what do they do? And it's, I don't know, maybe this isn't correct. And I would, again, love to have folks on to actually ask them about some of this and their like company growth like projections and where they came from and why. But I think this is not necessarily uncommon, especially for companies that, I mean, how long have they been around? Like do you know when they launched? Because I
No.
feel like there's a rash of companies who came up in like the late teens, right around COVID, and they launched doing something. They secured funding. Everyone was funding, throwing money at clinical trials. And so a bunch of companies spun up to provide services to clinical trials because it was seen as a place that was getting a lot of funding. But people did that again without fully knowing what problem they were trying to solve. And so they started a company with one thing and took down funding, and that wasn't working. So they pivoted and did another thing. There's a lot of companies out there who kind of did that, like where they just bounced around from like, I'm going to do this. I'm DCT. It's like, no, now I'm a software company. Now I'm going to provide recruitment. I mean, they bought like Deep Lens. Like
Yeah.
so I just like, it seems like they haven't really had a consistent strategy and or problem they're trying to solve. And I wonder if
So
that's from like
looks
funding.
like
You
they
have
were
to keep showing you're pivoting.
yeah, they were founded in 2021, incubated by Arch Venture Partners, which I guess maybe tells you something. But you can go look at their website and their leadership and their board of directors and advisory board, which consists of former U.S. Secretary of Veterans Affairs and a general who was the COO of Operation Warp Speed. So
They have connections to the government.
Some former FDA folks, and then some venture partner dudes. So I mean, honestly, I can't think of a better combination than venture capital and government figures. Right? There's no way that could go wrong.
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious in our current administration, nepotism and favoritism have run rampant, and folks are in positions because of who they know, not what they know. So it would make absolute sense that an organization like this, especially one that came into the clinical trial space in the midst of the pandemic when everyone was throwing money, so it'd probably be pretty easy to raise an idea on clinical trials. And as the industry has significantly changed over the past 6 years, there's now pressure to deliver. And so you constantly are pivoting to show you're pivoting and showing that you're doing something. And so because if you never had a clear problem you're solving, you never had a clear solution, that's all you can do because you have nothing else to do. So I don't know. But to your point, I think it is frustrating when stuff like this happens because I truly think that the government does have a large role that they could play to improve our industry. So like I want to be supportive of stuff that we're doing in the space, that we're getting like traction, awareness, doing things to improve efficiencies. I just am struggling to understand what this even is and if it's real, and then there's so much good work that could be being done. It's supposed to drivel like this that it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, well, we shall see. Time will tell. Not the last time. I'm sure we'll talk about Paradigm. And again, if anyone's listening, love to have somebody come on, not in an adversarial way, but seriously, in just a way to understand, like, what is it you guys are doing? Maybe it's the most fucking amazing thing in the world. It's just that's not been made clear to me at this point, Well,
and it's been long enough at this point that if it hasn't been made clear, it becomes clear that there isn't anything.
Well, again, time will tell. This will all shake out one way or the other. So very cool.
What's this like? What's the statement? It's like, inaction is still inaction. So like, if you don't make a decision, you don't do anything, that's still inherent of itself doing something.
It's doing something.
So even if you're not saying anything, by your silence and omission, you are saying something.
Fair point. But they're saying a lot. It's just not particularly heavy on useful content, I guess. So anyways,
marketing drivel.
Yeah, more or less, but on a government stage for some reason, which just seemed, again, bizarre to me. But you know what? Let's say we're in a new normal at this point. So, kinds of things we can just come to expect.
Yeah. Well, at this point, compared to other shit that's coming out, it's kind of like, okay, this is mid.
Right. Yeah. Good point. All right. Well, we'll be back Thursday.
Yes,
doing
sir.
More of the same jibber jabber. So stay tuned. Come say hi. Like and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button.
Ew.
I know. I'm sorry.
Ew. I don't like that.
My son watches enough YouTubers who play video games. So
Dude.
I hear that shit too much.
The amount of 100 days in, and if you're watching my content,
I think we could learn a lot from these people. Maybe we need to start taking a whole different approach.
Just do a few lines before our podcast, like what these people.
We need more pop-ups with bells that people can click, and
okay.
Maybe I'll stream Minecraft while we talk about clinical trials.
We could try to run clinical trials in a Minecraft world.
Wow! Now see, that's a crossover right there. We could get the Minecraft video game watching crowd and the clinical trial crowd. That's a good idea.
We got that and a clinical note to file day, and we'll be set.
I think we've generated a lot of positive and creative ideas here. So expect our government press conference in the next several months. Where all of this will be announced officially and publicly.
Going to be recruited for the next press secretary role.
There you go. All right, got anything else?
Nah.
Cool. All right, guys, we'll catch you later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Note to File. We're committed to continuing to bring you independent and unfiltered coverage of the clinical trial industry.
We want to talk about what you want to hear. So if you have something on your mind, hit us up at notetofilepodcast.com.